I just got back to my room after eating some oatmeal, doing some legs up the wall. Just got to the track meet. Look who we're with. Coach, say hey.
Subscribe to get
I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips on what to do with a bad race. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is pretty simple. You just need to chill out. A lot of times when people have a really bad race, it really freaks them out. I know for me, I've had experiences where I had a bad race and it just destroyed my whole mentality for honestly even up to the rest of the season. It's really difficult to deal with, but you can learn so much from a bad race. So you just need to chill out and just not worry too much about it, because in the end, it's going to be okay. And if you use it right, it can help you get better. Tip number 2 is pretty simple. It's basically just figuring out what went wrong with your race. So what I like to do is, a lot of times my parents video the races. Obviously if it's cross country, that's not the case, but you pretty much always know where and when the race fell apart for you. So it's really important to go back to that time in the race and see what was going on in your mind and figure out what went wrong. This is what's going to help you get better from your race and grow, and so that you can have better performances down the road. So as you guys can see here, I clearly had a really terrible start. I've been having a little bit of ankle problems, and I was putting a little bit of pressure on my left ankle when I started the race, and I just stumbled a little bit, and because my ankle was a little bit weaker, I kind of tripped over myself, and I had a bad start, and that put me immediately in the back of the pack. So as you can see, I'm actually in the very, very back of the race, and I make a big move along the backstretch on the first 200 meters to go straight to the front, because my plan was to front run. Now, it's a 1 mile race, so it's normally not too terrible, but a bad start can really mess you up. And what you'll see is, in the first 200 meters, I made a big move to the front because my plan for the whole race was to push the pace and make it fast, hoping that I could drop everyone. And having the bad start, my next 100 had to have been close to 14 seconds, and it really just threw off the rest of my race, which is a little bit too quick, and it really just kind of set the tone for what could be a potentially dangerous race. I stuck to the plan and continued to push the pace like I was supposed to, but when I got to 3 laps in, I was just totally gassed. And I think that I wouldn't have been gassed as bad had I had a better start, but it's very important to look at what happened at this point in the race. So I was caught at 1200, and then I absolutely fell apart. And when you get caught after doing all the work like that, it's really hard to bounce back from it, and I just fell apart. I mean, if I would have gone out a lot slower, I think I would have ran a lot faster, but I don't think I would have had the breakthrough performance that I was looking for. So I mean, either way, it's not the ideal situation, but I can be proud and confident that I went for it. And I mean, it's not something that I have done all season long. So I think it's really important to see what that pace feels like if I want to run faster later down the road. So it's okay, and that's what I can learn from it. So after you've analyzed your race and you've figured out what you did right and what you did wrong, I think it's really important for you to talk to someone about it. Whether it be your coach or a teammate or your parents or whoever. I really like to talk to my coach because he seems to know a lot of what went wrong for me. And so yeah, I talked to my coach pretty soon after the race, and I also talked to my parents and some of my friends about it. But yeah, it's really important to talk to them. Tip number 4 is to just move on. I mean, a lot of times, even like the day after, a couple days after, it really just sits hanging over you, and you just let it go. Because if you carry it with you into the next race, it's not going to lead to good results. You just have to put it behind you and take what you learned with the good results and the bad results of what you did right and wrong in the race, and then learn from that. And tip 5 is to humble yourself and really just notice where you are and what you've been given. For me, this is really important because my family drove 3 hours, 3.5 hours to go to this race. My parents were gracious enough to take me up the night before, and we had like a nice dinner, and it was really just an awesome experience. I mean, I know not everybody gets to have something like that, so it's something that I'm really thankful for, and I'm really just thankful for the memories. So I would say the tip 5 is just being thankful and enjoying the time that you have, because it's short, and if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you're not going to get better. But if you do enjoy what you're doing, you're going to continue to grow. This video was a little bit unorthodox, but me personally, I really wish that I would have had something like this, a guide to look at coming into the sport. When you're younger, you just don't know, and it can just really be frustrating, especially when you actually start to care about your results. And it's really, really difficult when you're putting in, honestly, almost everything you can into a sport or to really any endeavor, and it's just not turning out. But you have to trust that the breakthrough is coming, because if you don't, you know the work that you put in. You know the work that you put in, and you know what that's going to bring, and it's going to flourish. So just be confident, be thankful, and move on, because greatness is around the corner. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon, hopefully with a better race.